Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found us. Here at DiamondTrail Ranch, we share real life tips about backyard ducks, goats, chickens, gardening, and just simple homesteading on a small scale. If you're dreaming about a more self-sufficient life, or you just love seeing animals and farm life, you're in the right place. So stick around to the end and check out our other videos. We have entire playlists dedicated specifically to one on gardening, one on our equine, one on our goats, one on our chickens. So make sure you check out. They are packed with beginner-friendly tips to help you get started faster and easier. Also, new videos do drop every week, sometimes multiple videos a week. We'll even get a short out every day or do a live every day. I'm still kind of working on the scheduling with that. But every day there will be something, whether it's a short with an update, a short with a new tip, a beginner-friendly hack, or a live video on the ducks, a live video on the goats, a live video on the horses. You name it, it's something will come out every single day. So make sure, again, if you're new here, if you like what you see, hit the notification bell. Make sure you click all, and it will ping you with a notification for free. It doesn't cost anything to let you know when we've provided new content. So stick around. Today we're going to be diving into one of my favorite parts of homesteading, raising ducks. Whether you're thinking about adding a few backyard ducks for eggs, for pets, or just for the pure joy of having them around, this video is going to be packed with all the essential tips and tricks you need to get started the right way, guys. We've been raising ducks for a while here at DiamondTrail Ranch, and we're starting to get it figured out, right? Trial and error. Everybody starts somewhere, right? Whether it was when you were younger or later in life. On this little farm, I'm excited to share everything I've learned, we have learned, including a few things I wish someone had told us here at the beginning. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's talk about ducks. So your breed definitely is going to matter way more than people think, especially where you live. Some ducks are great for eggs, like khaki Campbells, Indian runners, Welsh Harlequins. You'll see a lot of the Indian runners and Peking here, actually, in various mixes. Others are for meats, like the Peking I mentioned. Great for that. If you're looking for self-sustainability, get into the meat industry, right? The egg industry, the milk industry. Some, like the Cayugas and Ryoons, are just backyard beautiful companions. Here at DCR we raise these Pekings, Indian runners, but I was also gonna say, made me think of that mid-thought, was we actually we'll take in rescues of various animals too. I'm gonna have another video on that, but I'll sorry about that caveat there. It just made me think about that with the breeds. Our duck breeds here have been awesome for eggs. They've been awesome for pets. Do you have kids? They love ducks. Who doesn't love ducks, right? They're cute, fluffy. They'll hang out with you. Depending on how much you hang out with them as kids or spend time with them, you'll just get pets out of your animals. But don't get too close to them, because what happens when it's time to eat, right? So picking the right breed will save you a ton of headaches later on. When you bring home baby ducklings, you're going to need a warm, safe brooder, which we do have. The big difference, ducklings are incredibly messy. They are way messier than chicks. They splash, they play in the water, they soak everything. You'll see in this video, if you just add a little bit of water to anything, they will turn it into a mud pit. It's just the way ducks are. Heat lamps work. They work great, especially if you don't get, depending on the time of year for you guys, if you're hatching in the winter time, you're going to need lamps. They don't just work great, you're going to need them. Always hang them securely, obviously, and give ducklings enough room to move closer or further away, depending on what they need and the kind of room they're working with and how many you have in there. but make sure they can all get to it. Watch them. If they're huddled up, your ducklings, it's too cold. If they're panting and running from the heat, it's too hot. You'll see some of these ducks panting just from the sheer standing in the wide open, even under in the shade. This is Florida. It gets hot. It's spring. I think it's in the early 90s already here. It hasn't rained maybe once this whole month. That's a whole nother, spring showers, spring Mayflowers. I think it rained once this month. But we have irrigation and watering system. Hopefully you have some form of making sure, an ability to make sure they have water every single day, multiple times a day. If you're thinking about vacationing, this might have just became your vacation, a staycation. These animals are, they need love, they need attendance, they need supervision. Ducks they don't roost like chickens. They like a low, cozy shelter that keeps them safe from predators and dry at night. You don't need anything fancy. A secure pen, you can see here in this video, with hardware cloth or, depending on what kind of animals you have. Inside, you can give them, bedding, mulching, straw bedding, depending on what kind of roof you have in there. Something to keep, what you're doing here is you're keeping the ground dry for them as much as possible. So we'll go in and just add in, a layer of mulch, spread it out, thin it out for them, make sure there's a layer for them. They don't want to walk around in that nasty sop. You know what I mean? Would you? Nobody wants to walk around in that. So, and the goats too, especially. That's a whole nother video. Ducks will smash down anything you put in their way. So they need about 4 to 6 square feet per duck inside of their pen or coop. 10 to 25 square feet each inside, in their outdoor area, which is like you see here. More space is happier, healthier ducks. Which is kind of ironic because these guys, they huddle up on each other regardless of anything. They're herd, they love each other. Make sure you give them water. I threw down some food for these guys. That's what they're kind of picking at. Get some playing and stuff with each other. If you learn one thing about ducks, out of this whole video, ducks need water deep enough to dunk their whole heads, and there's a reason for that. Ducks need water deep enough to dunk their whole heads, because that's how they clean their nostrils and stay healthy. That is the key, the absolute key. Regardless of what animals you get on your property, ducks absolutely have to have water deep enough, I'll say it again, so they can clean their nostrils and stay healthy. They have to have that. Chickens don't. You don't have to have a pond. A kiddie pool works fine. Most people with the backyard setups have kiddie pools. You can get a rubber tub, a deep bowl. Just make sure you're keeping an eye on it. You can go out there, fill it, let them dunk, and take it back, But make sure you stay on top of that if you're going to do that. I imagine if you're getting into ducks, though, you probably are well aware of needing water already. What is that, number 5? Ducks are pretty hardy. You do have to watch for a few things with them. You'll see in our videos here, we have a couple of gimpies. They are limping. They're doing fine though. You can get bumblefoot. It's an injury on their feet if they're on any sharp surfaces. We free range them. We let them out all day, all the time. We put them away generally at night for predators and safety. So they get to walk around on a couple acres here. There's angel wing. These are common issues. The bumblefoot I mentioned about the feet injuries. This is angel wing. What happens with angel wing is they get too much protein when they're growing. You need to feed them a balanced diet. Read the bag, guys. Don't just grab the cheap stuff. Please read the bag that you're getting them. Ask your local supplier, what's best for this breed, what's best for that breed. Maybe if they're getting something specifically or you're on a budget, maybe you can supplement with something else to whatever they're lacking in that they're not getting in their main diet. You can't just throw down last night's pizza. Ducks don't care about that. They don't like that. Parasites are big. If you live somewhere super wet and warm, this is Zone 10A here in Florida. We're super wet and we're warm. Chickens can help with those nasty little critters too, though. So that's a whole nother great thing about backyard homesteading in general. kind of get a little bit of everything, right? Otherwise, you just keep your ducks' space clean, you keep their water fresh, you give them a place to sleep, and you'll probably never have an issue.